Hey, it's Tammi Mack, and you gotta watch Studio Q, Best Interviews.
Studio Q show, now you know.
Give us a brief synopsis of what Bag Lady is.
Bag Lady is about the baggage that we carry from relationship to relationship to relationship. And we're always wondering like, well, why can't I find a good man? Or why can't I find the person for me? Well, it's really because you haven't dealt with the issues in your life that will make you a complete and whole woman without a man. So once you deal with those issues and drop the bags, all that baggage you come with, not trusting the guy that you're with now because the last dude cheated on you, thinking that the next guy's gonna hit you, thinking that the next guy's gonna do you wrong, or just not wanting more for yourself because you don't believe you deserve it. So you continue to fall into the trap of making the wrong choices. And that's really what Bag Lady is about. It's not about bad men. It's about bad decisions. Not only women have bags, men come with bags too.
They do.
We all got bags. And then that's the theme of the show. Everyone has bags. When will you drop yours? Because we all have them.
But what made you decide to put all your stories into a one-woman show?
Well, a couple of people, in particularly Thomas Duckett here at Stage 52, suggests that I do a one-woman show. And then Jeff Bird, who was a director, suggested that I do a one-woman show. So a lot of people have been, since I've been doing my industry showcases, Max Minute Microphone Mixer in association with Vanessa Bell Calloway, a lot of people have been saying, you should do a one-woman show, you should do a one-woman show. And I've always thought to do one, but I think most people think, when they think one woman show, they think get up and do funny. And I'm not really a comedian. That's not what I do.
You just naturally funny.
I just say what's real. I'm very real. What you see is what you get with me. So I'm not a person that puts up facades or pretends to be what I'm not. I know that I'm half hood, half educated, and I work both angles.
I have a master's of fine arts. Myself. Is this what I paid $30,000 for? This cannot be what God brought me here for.
Let me say this to you, Q. After I started doing my mixers, God gave me a vision to stop doing stuff for me and to stop trying to be a star. That's not what he put me here for. He didn't put me here to be a star and for everything to be me. So when you first come to Hollywood, you're like, ooh, how can I be a star? Who can I meet? What can you do for me?
Right.
And before I did my mixers, God gave me a word and said, stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about other people, which is why I started those industry showcases to help other actors.
What was the epiphany that the vision came from? Like, was there a certain thing that happened?
Any actress knows. You have those moments where you get stuck in a rut and you're looking at your white walls and you get depressed and you're like, why am I here? Is this really for me, God? Oh God, woe is me, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go back home and I can't do this.
Well, you preaching and to so it was, the masses right now.
It was that kind of feeling. And then I was trying to literally have paper trying to figure out what I could do for me to get to the next level. And I don't know what it was, but I was talking to God. Yeah. And I didn't think I was talking directly to him because I'm not that religious. But I thought I had I thought we were just kind of kicking it.
Spiritual.
Yeah, I thought we was kicking it.
You know what?
So I'm like, yo, God, I don't understand what I do.
Yeah.
And he said, you got to stop thinking about you. And you got to think about other people too. And then I'm like, but I don't know these people. Why I got to think about them? I don't know these people. I'm trying to be a star. And he was like, when you stop trying to be a star, I can help you.
Wow.
But until then, I can't. So that's how our industry showcases came about. But that's how, when people kept telling me about encouraging me to do a one-woman show, I didn't want to do it until it wasn't about me. And so that's kind of how the show came about. Me and my best friend Michelle, who I talk about in the show, we were on a plane from Houston to Los Angeles, and we were talking about the men in our lives. And I was like, ooh, girl, remember when Tyrone did this to me? And she was like, well, what about when Jerome did this to me? And I was like, well, what about when Flav did this to me? And she was like, well, what about when? And we were laughing and giggling, and we were going back and forth about how bad a man was doing us. And then all of a sudden, we just was kind of like, just kind of sad. You know, what's wrong with us? Like, we were on the plane going, what's wrong with us? So then all of a sudden, talking about the bad men became about analyzing ourselves and what was wrong with us, that we kept going through this bull crap with these dudes. And it was less about what the dudes was doing to us and more about what we were doing to ourselves. And that day, I took on the plane 4 of those stories and I wrote them into a one-woman show. And then from that point on, I started developing more stories. And so that's how Bag Lady became about. So there's some of me and my best friend stories.
And is it okay with your best friend that you relive
I don't
those
know.
stories?
They will be here, and I'm scared I might not have a best friend anymore. Cause the Pamela story, which you saw,
Yes.
the Pamela story is deep. You don't know whose story is who. All of the stories come from my perspective, as if the stories happened to me. And most of the stories are all mine. And even if the ones that are not mine, they're the stories that I was there for. So they're still my stories. But the reason I did that though, Q, is because your story is my story, and my story is your story. True. There's not a woman, I can ask you right now, has a man ever cheated on you? What are you gonna tell me? Thank you. I can ask you right now, have you ever been heartbroken? What you gonna tell me? Yeah. So I'm saying, so all I'm really doing is sharing every woman's story. It's everyone's truth. It's not just mine. Maybe the circumstance is a little bit different, but I promise you, every woman, has had that moment where they were like, what was I thinking when I was doing that for that man? Or what was I thinking when I kept staying in that relationship with that man? And that's only when you grow that you and when you get past it. Everybody has to go through it.
Yeah.
So it's only when you grow and get past it that you can look back at yourself and begin the analyzation process so that you won't continue to do it. I think when I first started writing the stories, it was more of a lot of people say it's cathartic, is that the word? But it wasn't that for me. When I started writing the stories, it was more of a storytelling process. So I was kind of removed from it when I was writing it and kind of looking at it from the perspective of a writer. Oh, this will be good, And it wasn't until I got up on my feet that I realized, oh my God, this shit really happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is real. And once I got the lines and started actually living those moments, because this is my first experience with being an actress, doing my own work on this level. I've written pieces for other people, but I've never written something for myself and then had to go through the process of writing it, rewriting it, then learning the lines, then getting on stage and living it. So I'd have to say it's a new feeling for me. So I'm getting used to everything all at one time. It's fun on a lot of days because I'm an actress and I love it.
Yes.
I'm a ham. I love it. I love being on this stage. And the thing about telling my own story is my story.
Right.
So there's not a disingenuous moment in it because it's all mine. It's close to me. I'm very protective of it. So I'm not going to release it in a way that it would be degrading or in a way that it would, be exploitive. I want women to look at this piece and say, oh yes. By the end of the play, I want people, not by the end of the play, by the first 2 sentences in, okay, that might be pushing it. By the first scene, I want women to stop seeing me and see themselves. It feels good to me to answer your question. Every moment of this feels good. Every moment of it feels real. And because of how this one woman show has all come up, we did a Kickstarter campaign, which because when I celebrated the campaign, you were right there with me.
Would you do it again?
The Kickstarter?
Yeah.
I'll never do another Kickstarter. It was a lot of work. Never do another Kickstarter. Subscribe to Tammi Mac TV. I have 2, Tammi Mac and Tammi Mac TV.
Okay.
But go to Tammi Mac TV,
okay,
and you'll see the first episode of Bag Lady. It's called Viagra. And those are different stories from the stories in the stage play. So the web series is Tammi Mac's Bag Lady, and we have 4 episodes already. We premiere each one of them at the Mixer.
Okay.
So the first episode is already up. It's crazy. It's just insane. Y'all gotta see Viagra. You have to see it. So log on to Tammi Mac TV and then just click The Bag Lady, episode 1. I am all for the man. This is what I'm saying. Like, my play is not male bashing. It's female bashing. We gotta get it together. We gotta get it together. My story is not complete, and I still have a lot of mistakes to make, and I have a lot of lessons to learn. And I also realized that you have to forgive yourself for your mistakes, because a lot of times we get down on ourselves and we're very guilty, and that's a bag that we carry. We carry the bag of guilt with us everywhere we go, and because of that, we don't believe that we should have something good in our lives because of something we may have done bad. And I do that all the time. Like, I could book a television show like Scandal and be like, oh, but I shouldn't have it because I did that back in 1967 and this, you know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people have that guilt on them, that won't allow them to move forward. So I think I learned that about myself. I learned that I can appreciate where I am today, and I can be happy about where I am today, and I don't have to worry about the mistakes that I made yesterday. And I also don't believe in preaching to other women. You know, if somebody's in a bad relationship, I'm not the girl that's like, girl, you gotta get out of that. Girl, leave him alone. Girl, everyone has to go through their test.
Yeah.
You have to go through it. You have to. And I think I'm that friend that's there, and I'm just like, okay, what is it now? You know, I'm just there. I'm not there to tell you what to do. And this play doesn't tell you what to do. I'm telling you what I did.
Right.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I did and how I jacked it all up and came through. Probably the day 3 when I was rehearsing with Iona, I felt like I had never taken a drama class in my life.
Wow.
And I have a master's of fine arts in theater.
Yes.
And I was like,
yes.
I was appalled. You know, I'm like,
The whole chapter I did.
yeah, I'm like, hey, I want my money back.
Right.
Like, I really like to get stuff right. I like to get it right. And Don B. Welch is like, look, you rehearsing too much. Chill. Go eat. Drink some water. Just stop.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? But Iona, she came in with these techniques and this stuff that I was frustrated with because I couldn't get it. And she's very, very patient. So I have to give that to her because I'm not good. You know, like, I get frustrated. I'm very impatient. Like, we were going through the first scene, and I was like, when are we going to get to the end?
Right.
She was like, Tammi, it's just a week of rehearsal. I was like, yeah, but we should be at the end by now. It feels good just because at heart, I think the gift that God has given me is the gift of storytelling. So it feels good to be able to get on stage and just tell a story and not have to worry about, you know, somebody else's line or someone else's spacing or blocking. It feels really, really good. I think people will enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
And there are moments where I'm kind of like, I don't know. But then I think that's the actress in me. You know, we're always doubting ourselves.
Right.
But I think the play, this is what I've said, and I said this to Iona when we first started directing the play. After the Kickstarter campaign, and after a couple of other things happened, I realized that it's not my show, it's God's show. Because he kind of took the wheel and said, I got this, let me do this. And you just do, you just share the gift I gave you. Everything else is up to me. So even though, because I am a producer and also the producer of this show, I get in my head and I want things done and I gotta get things done. I do know and I do believe, and probably for the first time in my life, I do believe that this play is God's play and not mine. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. It might be my story, but I promise this play, I ain't got nothing to do with it. She coaches me when I do, when I go in for pilot auditions or really big guest star roles. So she coaches me all the time, and probably a lot of my acting technique mirrors Vanessa Bell Calloway's, just because of how close I am to her. I don't know how close she is to me, but I'm close to her.
That's all that matters.
I'm sticking to her.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, I got her by the leg. You ain't going nowhere.
Right.
But she's very, very free with her information and sharing knowledge with me, and I just love that about
Just
her.
like you.
She was a God gift to me in Los Angeles, because there is nothing she hasn't done for me since we met.
Awesome. Well, can you just tell everybody when they should come,
Yes.
why they should come, and where they should
Bag
come?
Lady, Tammi Mack's Bag Lady, directed by Iona Morris. It's at Stage 52, May 2nd, 3rd, 2 shows on the 4th, May 9th, 10th, 2 shows on the 11th. We're sold out the first 2 shows, so get your tickets at macbaglady.tammimac.com, or you can just go to brownpapertickets.com. Make it easy for y'all. Brownpapertickets.com. That's where you can get your tickets to the show. It's going to be a fabulous show. Everyone has bags. When will you drop yours? It's really about, the baggage that we carry from relationship to relationship, whether it's a male-female relationship or even a female-female, male-male relationship. When you carry baggage, you put all that mess onto somebody else, and that doesn't help you, and it doesn't help the other person, and it certainly doesn't help a relationship to be solid. So, it's time to drop the bags, people, because I drop my bags. Studio Q, baby!
Studio Q show, now you know.